Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So tonight I wanted to do an update and give you a progress report on my cheap grow light. So if you guys remember, I bought an $8 grow light off of Amazon, and if you don't, video up here. And what I was going to do was I put it in a clamp light and I was going to hang it from the chandelier in my dining room. But after about an hour of it sitting there, I was kind of looking at it going, this is not going to work. Now the reason I didn't expect that it was going to work was because I have a very, very large window in my dining room. I want to say it's probably a 4-foot wide window by about 4 feet tall, maybe 3 feet tall. I don't know the exact measurements. So even with the curtains I've got up there, a lot of light was going to get through, and I was worried that it was going to kind of corrupt my results. So what I decided to do instead was I cleaned out my secondary closet. Now in that closet, and I'm going to open up the door here in just a moment, I have my grow light hanging down from it, and I took an old coffee table and I just have my seeds sitting. So when we look behind me, you'll see that I have the grow light and I have my seeds sitting on a table. So when you look behind me, you'll notice that I have a very low sitting coffee table in there, and I have my light that's just hanging down from a bar in my closet. So let me move out of the way so you can get a good look at that. Okay, so these are the seeds that I started about 2 weeks ago. And we will see, I've got to thin them out a little bit, but they're growing nice and strong upwards, I think. If they look weird to anybody, let me know. They are getting a little dry, so I'm going to have to transplant these very soon. But they look to be holding up very well. They don't, the leaves, at least on the green, I can't tell with the purple. But, like when I touch it, everything feels nice and solid. The leaves, they don't look like they're distressed or anything. So ultimately, if you're trying to grow on a small scale on a budget, that is a good idea. My only recommendation would be either have the light lower so that you can concentrate the light a little bit more, or have something a little bit higher. In other words, have the light closer to your plants. But otherwise, I think it was a good idea, and I'm not at all disappointed with my decision to do that. But wait, that's not it, guys. So in having that going for the last week, even though it worked really well, I am not doing this year's garden on a small scale. I don't know small scale. It's not in my nature. I'm a balls to the wall, go big or go home type guy. So the problem I'm going to run into is that little table in there, that is not going to give me enough space to grow everything, and I'm gonna have to buy more grow lights. So that is on the agenda, but in the meantime, let me show you what the closet's gonna look like in 3, 2, 1. So you'll probably notice that I went with a 4-shelf unit. I had no choice. I have at least 140 plants that I'm going to be starting very, very soon, sometime in the next couple of days. So as I was looking in the closet over the week, and I know I just said it, but I was looking at it and I'm like, this is not going to give me enough space to grow everything I want indoors. And then once I get everything transplanted outside, I do plan to continue doing a little bit of indoor growing in some pots and things like that. So I'm going to have to be able to rapidly kind of adjust what I'm doing. And so I had to expand and buy a shelving unit, and now, like I said, I've got some grow lights that I'm going to have to buy very, very soon. So can this be considered budget friendly? That largely depends on how you want to define budget friendly. Now, is budget friendly something that you can buy with relative ease that you're going to get some decent usage out of and not have to replace soon? If you want to apply that definition to it, yes, absolutely. This is budget friendly because it's only about $50. And you can see there's a lot of space on those shelves to put things on. Now, if you want to apply the other definition of budget friendly to it, as in specifically just cheap, no. $50 is not a cheap solution if you're going to grow on a larger scale, indoors at least. But if you can afford it, do it. because ultimately you're going to have a much larger capacity and you're not going to have to worry about whether or not everything's okay. And that's the best way I can describe it right now. So this, I've only got the one light, and I know that's not going to be enough long term, but it's all I've got now. I've got plans to add on to it. So ultimately speaking, is it budget friendly or not? I'll leave that up to you to decide. I felt that it was the right decision for me with the amount of money I had in my wallet at the time. So it worked for me, but it may not necessarily be the best bet for you. But again, that's for you to decide. Let me know what you think down in the comments. In the meantime, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and thank you for hanging out. Later.